Joining me, as he does every week, is our Sky News colleague and former Labor Minister, Graham Richardson. Richo, a key week for the Albanese government ahead of Jim Chalmers' next budget, Tuesday of next week. And it's probably, there's always a delicate balance in a budget between the politics and the economics, but this one is really finely tuned with the RBA looking at this inflationary problem which continues.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it makes spending very, very difficult. And if governments don't spend, then there's no goodies to hand out to people. And they lose the advantage of a budget that can often do you some political good. And of course, you've got to balance political good against economic devastation. And that's what economists tell you get if you spend too much.
And so, really, if you look at the timing over the next 4 years, or the budget outlook, forward estimates as it's called, you'd basically be thinking Chalmers is looking at not spending a great deal beyond the tax cuts, which are already locked in from July 1, but try and rein that in within the next financial year while this inflationary pressure's there. But then, as you rightly point out, the government's trying to set out what it hopes is a second-term agenda through its Made in Australia policy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's sometimes the one thing on the one hand you're doing something that can work against what you're doing on the other hand, and that's often the case in government, and it makes life very difficult. But if anyone can sort of walk the tightrope that we're talking about, it would be Chalmers. I have every confidence in him. He handles himself so well, and he has that great knack of making complex economic. Of making economics that's complex so simple for ordinary people to understand. So I'm a great fan, and I'm sure he'll manage to do the job.
If he can navigate this, it bolsters his position internally, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. He's very good anyway. But look, I think everybody in the government recognises his talents. Obviously he's very keen if there's an end to the Albanese reign at some point. He'd like to be the next.
He would be. He'd be hoping to be, but there's a few others in the mix, not the least of which Tanya Plibersek and Richard Marles, among others. But let's look at the other issue, which has caused distraction, reduced as we put it in politics, the clear air for the government in the lead up to the budget, that being the fallout of the detainee issue. And we go from Jim Chalmers, who's such a present and media figure. He's always on the screens, whether it be on the other networks, Our Channel or wherever. The other ministers in relation to the immigration detainee question, you've got to send out a search party.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can kind of understand that in the sense that this is a subject no one likes to talk about. There's no winners when you're talking about refugees, only losers, and so you'll see a lot of ministers reluctant to join the band of losers.
So do you just not say anything? Is that the approach? Play dead, Mogadon?
Yeah,
you take
I think that's just
approach.
about it. Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're trying to do. Nothing to see here, and they just walk off into the sunset.
And just try and bore people to death when you're in Parliament and don't say anything any other time. That's looks like
easy to get bored to death in Parliament, I'll tell you.
Well, you've been there a few times. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. We'll catch you later in the week.
Good on you, Kieran. Thank you.